Live from WSLS, this is 10 News at 6, working for you.
Now at 6, Hurricane Ian has weakened, but the damage left behind is heartbreaking. We have the latest on the aftermath of Ian. Plus, how local organizations are stepping up to assist people impacted by the storm, both here in the Commonwealth and the hardest hit areas. And now officials are working to get power restored here in the Commonwealth after power lines were damaged. Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for joining us for 10 News at 6. I'm Duke Carter. McKinley Struther has the night off. Appalachian Power says more than 29,000 people were left without power from last night's storms. We do want to show you all an updated look at the outages right now, and we do know that number is now down to at least 17,000 at last check. They say most of the outages were east of I-77, and you can see on the map here areas like Patrick County were the hardest hit. Power officials say for safety measures to stay away from any downed power lines and never, of course, remove any debris within 1 feet of a power line. Coming up in the show, we did speak to people in the Pittsylvania County area to see how they are handling the mass outages. The worst of the severe weather is over, but we do still have some rain to deal with this weekend. So we're continuing our coverage of the impacts of Ian. And of course, today has been a very gloomy day. We want to check in with meteorologist Justin McKee, who can tell us pretty much it's starting to lighten up a little bit.
Yeah, you know, the wind that caused all the power outages is not going to be dealing with that anymore.
Yeah.
But still potentially some rain. The rain not going to necessarily be as heavy as it was last night and this morning, but still potentially some light rain both tonight as well as on Sunday. This is the rain we've seen so far since Ian's remnants really started pushing through. There was this swath of some heavier rain in the Roanoke Valley between 1 and 3 inches for those locations. Floyd County, Patrick County getting in on some pretty wet conditions. That's the case over in Wythe County and Grayson County as well. You can see basically everybody at least getting something as the tropical system moved our way. At the moment, anything that's out there right now, likely just drizzle or maybe some light rain. That's generally areas along and west of Roanoke. I actually think the showers are going to be lifting to the north as we go into tonight. So we are going to get in on some of this that places like West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and Ohio are getting in on. The temperatures have been quite cool today, the 40s and 50s. I don't think the temperatures move all that much as we head into our evening. Tomorrow morning, you're likely going to wake up in the 40s and 50s, and then tomorrow it looks like we have some more showers to deal with along with some cool temperatures. So we'll break it down coming up in just a few minutes.
All righty, thank you, Justin. You can track the latest, of course, with our free WSLS at 10 weather app. Your local weather authority uses it to give our viewers, you all, hour-by-hour updates. You can even get alerts when big changes come to your area. Coastal communities in the Carolinas are dealing with the aftermath of flooding from storm surge because of Ian. Myrtle Beach saw record-breaking storm surge at more than 6 feet. Wind gusts between 50 and up to 58 miles per hour uprooted trees and knocked down power lines. Today, law enforcement from Miami and Tampa, they are headed to the Fort Myers area. And according to FEMA, 38 people have been confirmed dead in Florida. And so far, estimates are up to $47 billion in property damage.
Over the last 72 hours, there have been over 1,100 confirmed rescues made by first responders, and likely many more than that. Those are the reported ones as of 6 o'clock this morning.
Governor Ron DeSantis also said they are working to restore water and electrical services. The Red Cross is deploying volunteers from Virginia to help those impacted by Ian. It's a twofold response. So the Red Cross is ready to respond to any impacts, of course, here in our area. Plus, the nonprofit is also sending 15 volunteers and staff members to Florida to help on the ground there. They're also planning to send additional volunteers over the coming weeks.
This is a response that's not only going to last weeks, it's going to potentially last months and even years to start to rebuild these communities and get them on the path to recovery.
If you want to help, you can volunteer, donate money, and of course blood, because the storm has canceled hundreds of blood drives. Thousands of Pittsylvania County residents woke up this morning with no power, but Danville Utilities has continued to restore it in some of the areas down there. 10 News reporter Connor Dietrich tagged along with the restoration crew this morning, and he's working for you to show the work they have ahead of them.
Take a look at some of the damage from last night's storm. This tree completely fell over onto these power lines. I'm told that there's not power within about a half mile from this site. And Danville Utility tells me that this area is just one of many that they're working to restore power. Danville Utilities will be working around the clock to restore power in the community. This morning, they began with 15,000 customers without power, but Director of Utilities Jason Gray says they've made tremendous progress.
We've had upwards of 15,000 customers out of the 42,000 customers that we serve at the peak. But currently, right now, we have about 10,000 customers that are still without service.
One of those customers is Wendy Church. Church did not want to speak on camera, but she told 10 News about the loud crash she heard outside her home last night. Her and her neighbor's power immediately turned off as a tree tore down lines. Gray says wind gusts of up to 30 miles per hour damaged 11 major power lines.
So it was very impactful with trees down, power lines down. We have a list of broken poles that we have to attend to get service back up in certain areas.
Crews will continue to work throughout the evening as long as the weather cooperates. They are asking customers cooperate too.
Just be patient with us. We're working as fast as we can, as safely as we can.
After everything that's happened, Wendy tells me she is grateful for one thing, that the tree fell onto the street and not onto her house. In Pittsylvania County, Connor Dietrich, 10 News, working for you.
The Virginia State Police is investigating a fatal crash in Campbell County. They say it happened around 10 p.m. yesterday in the 2200 block of Bishop Creek Road. Detectives say a 2008 Toyota Corolla was traveling west on Bishop Creek Road when a tree fell. The driver of the Toyota, an adult male, ran off the road and died on scene. Police say there was heavy rain, strong winds at the time of the crash. Police say one person is hurt after a shooting here in the Star City. Roanoke police responded to a person on Ferdinand Avenue Southwest with a gunshot wound around 5 this morning. And that's where they found an adult female victim with a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. That victim was taken to the hospital for treatment, and police say at this time there are no suspects. If you have any information, you're asked to contact police. Staying healthy during the flu season. We'll tell you about 2 strands that this year's shot will protect you against and why you might want to get yours soon, at least according to experts. And believe it or not, Christmas is just over 2 months away. How one organization is already working on ways you can give back for the holiday season.